Here's the prey, cited by my friend Marianne. She alerted me with this text message. Then I messaged my moving guy, Paul. This kind of thing happens a lot in my world, but right now we're doing the Spring Clean Challenge, hosted by Sab's Rehabs. Sab's challenge is for us to make the most dramatic transformation. So this one's my pick. I just love the old waterfall dressers. Someone had replaced the hardware with regular kitchen pulls and dated ones at that. So I'm going to use some pulls that I got at a flea market that I just love. So there's 4 holes to seal up. I love this feature. Of course, there's lots of talcum powder and it smells good, but there's this little tray that you can put your jewelry or your keys or your change on, and I just think that's a really cool feature that you find in some old dressers. Not much to do with this except there's these 2 lines on here, but when you feel it, you can see that it was just something that was laid up against there and made some sort of shadow, and the sun bleached it or tanned it, and then there's just a little chip of veneer out at the bottom. The top has some surface issues, but nothing really that sanding won't take care of. I love this inlay, and surprisingly it's in really good shape. That's kind of the inspiration for my entire design. For whatever reason, the word Marrakesh kept popping into my head, so I looked it up, and it's in Morocco. I had to find that out. Those are those pulls, and I really think I can pull something together here that has a Moroccan design. So I'm taping off that inlay, and I'm plugging up those holes, and right now I'm going to use the color Mojave from the silk line of Dixie Belle. All the colors that I'm going to use are silk. Now I have some paint inlays taped up. They're actually called Morocco, and they're from Iron Orchid Designs. So they don't recommend that you use the paint inlays with silk, but in my experience I've found that you can, but you have to do it totally different. Now also, these, I've done other videos on paint inlays, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but these inlays have already been spent. In other words, I've used them before. So I'm not going to get a really good impression anyway, but I'm just pressing them into the wet paint, and I have a brayer, so I'm going to use that to press in my design. Now I've done some other videos, like I said, on using a paint inlay, and I wish I would have used a brayer on my last one. So you'll see, if you check back on that one, how that one ended up. But that's a good idea to use that brayer and to use a chalky style paint. And obviously your best result's going to be with the first time you use it. It's going to fade every time that you use it after that. You can get about 4 or 5 uses out of a paint inlay. So this is what I'm doing, is I'm just kind of doing a section at a time, and while the paint's wet, just putting the inlay in it. Now, also, normally when you use chalk paint, it's suggested, well, you have to let it dry. You have to let that paint dry, and then you wet it again with the mister or a rag, just so you can lift the paper up without it sticking and without it tearing. But the way we do it with silk, or the way I have found, is you don't let it on there that long. You have to lift it right away. So as soon as I get the rest of these papers on, applied, then I'm going to go right back to that first one and peel it up. Like I said, don't expect miracles, because it's just a subtle look that I'm going for, and that's what I got, and I really liked it. So I'm ready to lift the first sheet, and like I said, I didn't get a really good impression, but I'm okay with it. I was going to lay it back in, and then I decided I liked it. Kind of left like a alligator-y thing where there were a little bit of wrinkles. Kind of pulled up the paint a little in some places, but I do like the wood grain, so I'm okay with that. And while it's still sort of wet, I'm going to take a stamp, also an Iron Orchid Design stamp. I think this one's called Bohemia. Again, this is kind of perfect. But I am using that brayer again with the silk paint. And I am using the paint on the stamp. This color is called Fiery Sky. These are all desert colors, so I guess that's perfect for this piece. And I'm just going to use that stamp and put it right over this design. Next, I use the color Oasis. Oh my gosh, I have fallen in love with this color. It's such a gorgeous, just fall into it blue. So I'm using that on the bottom two drawers. I leave that little scallop at the bottom. I tape off the top drawer and then put the Oasis color on the top as well. I also plan on putting it on the sides, but you know me, I kind of have to work on the front for a while before I move on. so glad people are embracing color again. So now I'm taking a stencil, and this one's just kind of a little, I think, a Moroccan design, and I'm using that fiery sky and offloading some of that paint so it doesn't run under the stencil, especially since I'm working on a vertical surface here. I could flip the piece, but I'm just going to do it this way. I'm using my stamp pad to make an impression of the back of the handle so that I can drill in the right place. I'm using Big Mama's Butter in the Orange Grove scent to freshen up those drawers and the tray. Check out all of the videos in the playlist. I'll have the link in the description box, along with the link for Sab's Rehabs. I'd love it if you check out my Amazon wish list. Use the super thanks. Also, we have channel membership now. Just hit join and it's only 99 cents a month. You get some exclusive content and you get to help me decide what I do on my Tuesday talk show every week. I saw one last opportunity for a design detail, and from the same stamp set, I'm adding some of the Mojave color and just along that top area, and I think that's all it needed. That and some bronze gilding wax. Let's take a look back at the dresser the way it was before I started. And then take a look at it now. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Visit us at lavintagedecor.company, and on Instagram we're lavintagedecor. On Facebook we're lavintagedecor Altoona. Stay well.